design. 3 sessions to plan within your budget line. Alright. From tiny seeds to trees so grand. Every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant. Welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant. In every shade and room, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Now everybody, let's say hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello plant. Welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant. And every shade and room, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you, just for you. In the morning sun, where the flowers bloom, colors blurs like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant.
Our live Q&A with
Welcome
Chris.
to the
This is your
show.
space to have a chat with Chris, ask him any gardening questions that you might have, and yeah, get to spend 45 minutes with a horticultural expert. So use this time to send us a question in the comments section down below. How are you feeling today, Chris?
Good. It's an interesting day. We've got a bit of wind, a bit of rain, a bit of sun, a bit of overcast, a bit of everything today.
It's actually kind of a bit mild today, isn't it?
Yeah,
for a
and it's a little
winter
bit
day?
mild. It's kind of actually a little bit spring-like, which brings me to the point that it's the middle of winter, but spring is not that far away. Like spring, you've got middle of August, you'll start to have all your plum blossoms coming out. And the other day I was driving around Melbourne doing some deliveries, and I saw 2 different, your Denudata, not Denudata, your Solangiana magnolias. I saw 2 of them in flower. So we might be in this sort of changeable weather we've got today. Really reminds me of a spring day. And we could be looking, and people need to start to thinking that spring isn't that far away. Like I always think spring comes when the plums come into blossom, and plums that come into blossom, second week in August, something like that. So you start getting your plum blossoms, and then from then on, it's a parade of beautiful spring blossoms, and it's springtime.
Wonderful.
Leaves pop out, and it's all pretty soon.
Wow, so it's not that far away, guys. So yeah, if you want to get your garden ready, or you have a question about getting your garden ready for spring, Chris can happily answer that, or just any general gardening question, Chris will help answer that for you today. All right, we'll get stuck into our first question, Chris.
Yep.
All right, one here from Tom saying, hello, I've planted 3 moss white silver birch about 6 feet high in sandy soil down here on the Mornington Peninsula. Will they grow well here? Do I need to feed them? Thank you.
Okay, hello Tom, thank you for your question. What they love is they love lots of water, no grass or weed competition, and regular, not lots of fertilizer, but regular small doses of fertilizer, and given plenty of water in summer. Don't make them, don't let them get thirsty between drinks. So plenty of water, maybe a little bit of mulch, and regular small doses of fertilizer. Don't go crazy with the fertilizer, but they love to be getting a little bit of a feed all the time, and they will go berserk. You should, if you do a good job with them in that sandy soil there, I expect that they should be around 12 to 15 foot tall 1 year from now, and I'd love to see a photo. You could post me a photo. I'd love to see a photo of what you can achieve. Regular fertilizer, plenty of water, no grass and weed competition. Okay, so have a nice big circle around them with no grass or weeds.
All right, there you go, Tom. Hopefully that helps you out with your moss white silver birch. Now, a couple of things I want to quickly mention, just some housekeeping to get out of the way, is that this live will be available on YouTube after we finish at 12:45, so you can always refer back to it if you missed the answer from Chris. And also, I've forgotten the second thing I was going to say, so we'll just jump straight into... we have a live flash sale happening at the moment, which we have some incredible bargains. Did you want to just quickly dip into that one, Chris?
Yeah, so it's we've got a fantastic add-on at the moment with
Bargain Bonanza.
Yeah, Bargain Bonanza. So you should Google Bargain Bonanza. Have a look at our fabulous ad, me in a cowboy outfit, but it's more than just a Bargain Bonanza. What it is, we've got 100 items. We're in the dead of winter now. And the growers are pretty keen to make some sales, so they've given me some crazy deals. So we've got 100 items, and we've called it a Bargain Bonanza. We've herded together 100 really exciting items, and they're available online at our Bargain Bonanza, our Grow Direct flash sale entitled Bargain Bonanza, and it's online and available until 12 o'clock this Friday.
Awesome.
And you could put you do your whole garden project, put your whole garden together at the Bargain Bonanza with our Bonanza bargains.
Beautiful. And if you want to book Chris for a one-on-one consultation, you can also do that through our website. Just go to the services section up the top tab there, and you can book Chris for one-on-one garden design, free garden design service that we offer. All right, let's jump back into the question.
Yeah, and I've done 3 garden designs this morning.
Already done 3?
Yeah,
wow.
three garden designs this morning.
All right, we'll jump back into the questions. Pea Soup asks, if you were a flower, which would you be?
Do you know, what would I be if I was a flower? I think I'd like to be a sunflower and radiate lots of warmth.
Beautiful, there we go. Perfect for today. Katie on Instagram asks, how far from the fence should I plant a teddy bear magnolia?
Teddy bears have got a beautiful shape, and you don't want to wreck that shape with the fence. So I think, but the thing is, most people are dealing with small pieces of land these days, and they're a bit stuck for room. So I think at a minimum 60 or 70 centimetres.
60 to 70 centimetres?
At a minimum, yeah.
All right.
But you could go, if you had plenty of space, I'm not aware of how much space you've got, you might have a great big block, or a country property or something like that. And if that were the case, I'd go 1.2 metres away from the fence and really allow the teddy bear, because teddy bears have beautiful foliage and a beautiful full shape, and it would be nice to see plenty of that.
Yeah, cool. So depending on the size of your yard,
so 60 or 70 at a minimum. 1.2 would be wonderful if you had the space.
There you go, Katie. All right, next is a question from Elizabeth asking, need a good ground cover for weedy garden bed in Balmore, Sydney?
I'm not really, I don't know what your property style is, but I think that the...
what about succulents or something? Or?
Yeah, I'm thinking prostrate rosemary. Prostrate rosemary grows really thick and bushy. I think there's 3 that you can, and what you could do is you could Google all 3 of the ones I'm going to suggest, have a look at them and see what suits your garden style, but I'm going to suggest 3 different ones. The first one is prostrate rosemary. That makes a beautiful thick cover, and blankets out the weeds. So you just got to get the weeds down till it covers, and then it'll blanket out the weeds. The next one would be Asiatic jasmine. Asiatic jasmine does great in Sydney, loves it in Sydney. Nice thick cover, again, a thick, aggressive, strong cover that'll blanket out the weeds. So Asiatic jasmine, and both prostrate rosemary and Asiatic jasmine will last you year after year after year after year. Some ground covers sort of fade away after a couple of years. And then the other one I was thinking, a different style, was Urena. And Urena myoporum is an Australian native one. It's one of the Osbreed range. And Urena, beautiful thick cover on the ground, and it's native, has a white fragrant flower in the summertime, and all of those are very, very hardy. The trick is that you've got to maybe put down some weed matter, or you've got to chip the weeds away or do something, get rid of those weeds, get the cover, and then once you've got the cover, they will blanket out and you'll only get the very odd weed popping up. So and what I would do is I'll just summarise those again, was prostrate rosemary, Asiatic jasmine or Urena, and then what you do is Google and look at those 3 different ones and see which one's going to suit your garden style. But all of those will be fairly economical, very tough, and very good at covering the ground.
Perfect. There you go, Elizabeth.
And
again,
long lasting too.
Long lasting. There you go, Elizabeth. That should answer your question there. Now, if you do miss any of Chris's answers again, you can check this video out. It'll be on, the live will actually be posted on YouTube in about 30 minutes. All right, let's carry on. So Ness over on TikTok asks, my Audrey ficus has lost a bit of leaves at the bottom. Will those need
just doing a show
to
at
grow
the moment.
back?
I'll be finished in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll just repeat the question. So my Audrey ficus, is that a type of ficus, is it? Audrey ficus?
Yeah, right.
Has lost a lot of leaves at the bottom. Will those nodes grow back?
Yeah, look, the thing is you'd have to really address why you've lost it. Your ficus is a sun lover. Maybe you've got to move it, get it out in the sun. So yes, they're quite capable of shooting new shoots from the base, but you might have to, move it or do something different. A bit more water, a bit more fertilizer, a bit more sunshine would be the things that could cause it to actually, it's able to, but then you've got to get it to actually do. And the fact that it's lost its leaves at the bottom would tend to indicate that there's something going wrong there.
All right, perfect. So so what's your suggestion, to just double check on the soil?
Well, water, checklist, light, water and fertilizer is what you need plenty of to get it to grow back. You've kind of got to, what you've got is you've got a situation where too much shade, not enough water, there's some reason that it dropped its bottom leaves, and so unless you reverse that reason, you're going to not succeed. It's capable of growing the bottom leaves back, but you've got to get it to grow those bottom leaves back. Also, trimming the top can, if you say it was a lack of sun and a lack of water and a lack of fertilizer, so you put it out in the sun, give it some more water and fertilizer, then maybe prune the top back a little, and that'll really encourage movement from the bottom.
Lovely. All right, there you go, Ness. Hopefully that helps you out there. Next question from Blaze asking, do you have fruit trees?
Oh yeah, we have, and not only that, this year we've brought in a lot of dwarf fruit trees, and actually this week we're going to be getting in lots of citrus. We're really expanding our citrus range this week, but we've got dwarf citrus, we've got ordinary citrus, we've got lots of potted fruit trees, different berries and things like that. And then we've got lots and lots of bare-rooted fruit trees and dwarf fruit trees. So now's a great time. I'd say that this would be the time of year where we have the biggest selection of fruit trees available, and lots and lots of dwarfs in the nursery right now. And people love the dwarfs because they don't, a lot of people got small yards now and they want a fruit tree that doesn't grow too big. But even if you've got a big yard, the beauty of a dwarf fruit tree is you can still reach the fruit.
That's awesome. That's really exciting, actually. We do have a very lovely selection of different apples, peaches, plums. Yeah, you can come on in, 1477 Sydney Road, and check those out. All right, Tom also just said, sounds good. That was on the moss white birch.
Cool.
And thank you very much. Blaze just had a follow-up question. Can my dwarf fruit trees grow in a 410 millimeter pots?
Yes. Adequate water and fertilizer, no problems.
Beautiful. All right, there you go, Blaze. All right, next, Tango here.
Hey, could you get someone to help out here? This gentleman here, because we're just doing a show.
Sorry, Mel, can we just get someone to help that?
Yeah,
man
okay.
there?
So what it is, I'm just doing a thing at the
That's
moment.
all right,
Could a person come around here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
all right, so as you can see, we're live and Chris is in high demand, and
Yeah,
so
that's
you
right,
guys
yeah.
are very lucky that are watching him here on the live, because customers are literally trying to grab him from the live. So get your questions in while you can.
Yeah.
We've got Chris for another 30 minutes.
Someone should come around and actually serve the customers
Yeah,
that want to.
Mickey's onto it. We're all good.
Get a person to come around
Yeah,
here.
Mickey's getting someone right now.
Okay, right, okay.
So next question comes to us from Tango. Where can I get Paulownia elongata from? Specifically elongata, the fast-growing variety.
Elongata,
I haven't heard of that one. Is that the Sapphire Dragon, or is that different?
we could try and get you the fast. Sapphire Dragon is Kawakami. We have Fortunii. I might be able to get some Fortunii. I think if we could get hold of that, we could trace up some Fortunio. The one that we call Pouton, the original Pouton or Fortunio, is the fastest grower of all, and we could try and get that one for you.
Okay, awesome. Maybe Tango, give us a call.
Yeah, give us a call and we'll chase it up for you.
Yep, 039359 331, and you can just call one of our sales staff. We'll be able to put in a price and availability for you.
Yeah.
All right, Blaze says, okay, thank you very much. Up and Adam, my Saucer Magnolia isn't doing well. Been in the ground for 18 months, receives full sun. Any suggestions?
Okay, they love full sun, no grass or weeds, plenty of cultivation, cultivate around them, plenty of fertiliser and plenty of water, and you should get them to go. Their favourite manure, I've noticed their favourite manure is cow manure if you can get hold of that, but if not, just use some Osmocote. But be generous with the water, generous with the fertiliser, and get rid of the grass and weeds around the base.
Beautiful. Tango also says thank you very much for answering his question on the Polonias, and he's going to give a call. And Adam also says thank you. So feel free to get your gardening questions in now. Chris is live with us and we'll happily answer them for you. It's a good opportunity if you have a question about a small yard or a big yard. Alternatively, you can always book Chris with our free garden design service, which you can do online. And we have some really cool sales happening at the moment as well with our Growers Direct Flash Sale as well.
Yeah, that's right. It's our bargain bonanza with 100 great specials out there. And out there till Friday lunchtime. We've got great specials out there.
You could really save with also doing your garden design and save as well.
Yeah.
All right, Steve asks, hi, when is Magnolia Black Tulip season, please?
We've got them available in the nursery now. And if you buy a budded up one now, you can have black tulip flowers in your garden this spring.
Okay, so springtime they'll already...
Oh, no, get them now.
Get them now,
and then have them flower in your place.
All right, there you go, Steve. So you can pick them up from us now. We've got a few of those in stock.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Yeah, pick them up now, pop them in the ground, and by spring you'll have them all in flower. How good's that? All right, Serena says, hi, Chris. What would you recommend as a fast grower to climb and cover a fence in Canberra, shady spot?
Right, okay. Fast grower in Canberra, I think that if you were to put some trellis or wire or something up for it to grow over, I think you couldn't beat a Happy Wanderer. Happy Wanderer would be an excellent choice and really fast and really tough for the Canberra situation. But apart from that, you could use Chinese Star Jasmine would be the other thing to quickly cover a fence. Or if you wanted something that stuck to the fence, you could go for Boston Ivy.
All right, so Boston Ivy.
Boston Ivy will stick to the fence, but Happy Wanderer or Chinese Star Jasmine, great in Canberra, but would need something to climb on, like a bit of wire or something.
Yeah, we actually just released a really good video of the Boston Ivy growing on like an iron fence.
Right.
In I think it's in Toorak or somewhere like there, and it grows really nicely on the fence line actually.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good if you don't want to go to the trouble of putting some sort of mesh or trellis or something up for it to grow on.
Lovely. All right, keep the questions rolling in, guys. We've got Chris for a few more minutes. This is your chance to have him answer them live right now and get some great advice for free. Why not? All right, so Brian or Bian asks, my mandarin tree has been in the ground for 10 years. Can I move it to a spot? I'm in Sydney, New South Wales.
Yeah, sure. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to dig it up, and a great time to dig it up in Sydney would be first or second week in August. I wouldn't do it right now in the dead of winter, but first or second week in August would be a good time to shift it. And when you've planted it, make sure it goes into a well-drained hole, plant it up nice and high, perhaps in a nice mound, and then cut the foliage, dig it with a nice big root ball, and then cut it back really, really hard. And don't be afraid to really hack into it, because that takes if you move it and leave all the big foliage, I imagine it's a big bushy tree, and if you leave all that big bushiness on it, because the roots are not really functioning or settled in yet, the tree will kill itself, it'll dry itself out. But if you cut it back really hard, I'd be reducing the leaf cover on it by 80%. So reduce the foliage by 80%, nice big root ball, well-drained hole, up nice and high, a little bit of Osmocote, and you'd be right.
Beautiful, and that should be all right in Sydney, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
Sydney's actually a good place to do it. Yeah, that little bit of extra warmth they've got over Melbourne will make a difference.
Yeah. All right, great. Next comes, I won't be able to pronounce this name, Suspivia, asking, is it okay to plant bacopa into pots at the moment? I'm in Adelaide.
Yeah, I think so. Bacopa is a great winter grower, and it peaks in sort of September, October. So if you get it in now, give it a little bit of Osmocote, use some good potting mix, give it some good conditions, keep it moist, don't overwater it, but a bit of Osmocote, some good conditions, and get it now, and you're really going to have a great lot. Bacopa is the most wonderful plant. It just flowers and flowers and flowers and flowers and flowers. I planted some in about I think it was early April, and it is flower. It was in flower when I planted, and it's just flowered and flowered and flowered and flowered ever since. And you can get it in white and pink and mauve. People should, if you're looking for winter colour, maybe or spring colour, and maybe you're putting a house on the market and you need something to look a bit jazzy, or for any other reason you want the property to look really jazzy, Google and have a look at Bacopa. Fabulous winter plant. Winter colour plant.
Wonderful. And we also have a really good article on our webpage for winter colour if you're interested in other forms of winter colour, if you need to add a bit of colour to your garden.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realise there's quite a few plants that you can plant that'll give you winter colour.
Beautiful. Shauna says, thanks Chris for your answer.
Yeah, happy to help.
That was about the growing the climber on the fence in Canberra.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, and there you go, Sue Bivia. Hopefully that helps you with the Bacopa in Adelaide. All right, Michelle here asks, what's the best weather conditions to start letting my frangipani grow more in Darwin?
Darwin is your frangipani heaven.
So that's the place the frangipanis go to be in heaven, is it?
Yeah, that's right. They go to Darwin. They love the heat. They love the wet. They love the dry.
Perfect condition, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but right now is the dry season in Darwin.
Okay.
And your frangipani is going to be asleep. I guess up Darwin would be fairly early, but I guess end of September you'd start hitting them with water and fertilizer, and they'll start moving. Bring them out of the dry and get them going in end of September. And I'd imagine by October they should be a massive flowers and foliage.
Wonderful. There you go, Michelle. Hopefully that gives you some good advice for getting your frangipanis to really grow more. Bit of Osmocote, did you say? On that?
Yeah, Osmocote and plenty. As soon as you feel that we're getting towards the end of the dry season, pump the water into them and give them some fertilizer, and that'll stimulate them and get them going.
You got plenty of heat too, so you're going to be right. Yeah. All right, Michelle, there you go. All right, and I'm sorry, I'm probably not pronouncing the name right. Sue Bevia says, thank you, love watching all your videos.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, great. Next question comes to us from Sue, who's in WA, asking, what plant could I put in front yard as a border plant as a deterrent stop cats digging? Bunbury, Western Australia.
To stop cats from digging. Like, I've noticed that lantana does really well in Western Australia. Like a purple lantana.
The trailing one, is it? Or
yeah,
is
the
it,
trailing purple lantana gives
That'd
off
go
a sort of
up there, wouldn't it? Or?
Yeah, go crazy. But it gives off it's nice and hardy. It flowers for most of the year.
Yeah, it's real pretty.
And it gives off quite a fragrance in that. I reckon the cats wouldn't like to dig in that. So I reckon the trailing purple lantana would give you a beautiful thick cover that'll give you masses of colour, masses of flowers. It'll be real hard for the cats to dig in.
All right, there you go, Sue. Hopefully that helps you with and prevents the cats from digging any further. Blake has a question asking opinion on plant starter. Plant starter, what is that? The
Okay,
soil,
so that would be things that could help you get a plant starter would be like your sea salt. So sea salt is like actually, when I was younger, there was a product on the market called Lane's Hormone 20, which had naphthalacetic acid in it. And I must bring something out like that again. That was the best. That was absolutely fantastic. And naphthalacetic acid is a type of rooting hormone.
Can you still get it, or?
I don't think you could Google it and have a look, but the Lane's Hormone 20, we used to, look, when I was a kid, we'd put that on our Christmas tree and it lasts 2 weeks longer. Every time
Really?
we picked a bunch of flowers, so we'd
What's
get an
it
extra
look
week
like?
or two. It was just a little bottle. We'd put it, we'd put it in the water with the flowers, and our flowers would last twice as long with cut flowers. And I don't know why it's not on the market now, but we used to, whenever we were transplanting anything or doing anything, we'd whack a bit of Lane's Hormone 20 on it, and that was the best plant starter around. Probably the best that I would know of now would be your sea salt. Your sea salt's really good.
Yeah, that's sort of everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, but the one with a bit of naphthyl acetic acid in it was fantastic. Is there anything like that available now?
Oh, sorry. Hang on.
Hormone 20 or
How do you
Formula-
pronounce? How do you spell it?
Was the old one. Just see if there's a Formula 20 product out now. But that was the best plant starter of the lot because it had that naphthyl acetic acid in it. Another really good plant starter.
Yeah, it says it still exists.
Really?
20,
Right.
20, 20
Formula
NPK.
20 plant starter.
20%
Wow.
nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Yeah, so we used to, when we were doing veggies, we'd dip them in it with, little veggie seedlings, anything we were planting, we'd put into that. And it's interesting to know it's still around.
Root development, transplant for transplant shock.
Yeah, foliar application. That's the best one, and it's because it's got the naphthyl acetic acid in it.
So what's it
hang on,
called?
no,
Formula
actually,
20?
I wonder if that's not it.
That might not be the brand name. That might just be a FarmTech MPK. Looks like it's a 2020 one as well. Trace elements, commercial grade. Would that be what we're after, or that company might not be around anymore? The one that you were.
This 1 litre pack here. That's exactly.
Which one? This one?
No. See that one there? The Formula 20. It's agropathic.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how you guys can't see what we're seeing here, unfortunately. But we're just googling it at the moment. Oh yeah, Formula 20. Is this it? We'll see if we can pop
Formula
it on the screen
20.
for
So
you.
whenever we were basically, my dad used to grow. I used to help my dad, and he used to grow, nearly 1 million plants a year. And whenever we were transplanting or exposing anything to any sort of transplant shock or removing it or anything like that, we used Formula 20, and that was the pick of them around. Other products around with that have got the other product that's really, really good is when you've got what do you call it? Humic acid, a product with humic acid in it, or sea salt's very good. Sea salt's, sea salt is good as a tonic for anything, but great for transplants. So Formula 20, probably pick of the bunch. Anything with humic acid is good, and then your sea salt's very good.
Lovely.
As a plant starter. And some nurserymen I know use sea salt as their plant starter and use it really religiously. But my favourite would be that Formula 20.
Formula 20. All right, we're just getting that on the screen there for you now, Blake, so you can have a quick look at it. There you go. Nice big bottle. Wow, it looks like Chris has been replaced by it. You won't be able to see that on TikTok, but anyway, it's called Formula 20. Maybe just put it to the side of Chris. Looks like it's on the table with Chris at the moment. All right, let's move along to our next question. There we go. It looks, there you go. That looks a bit more real. All right, great, guys. So let's, and there you go, Blake. That's a nice long answer for you. But gives you what you need to really get your plant starting going. All right, Michelle just commented saying, thank you so much for answering her question. That was about the frangipani in Darwin.
No worries, Michelle.
Blaze has got another question here just asking, is my duck's manure a good fertiliser for fruit trees?
It's a funny thing. I used to have a friend with a property, and he had horses and ducks. At any rate, what happened was that I gave him a heap of trees, and at one end of the paddock he had ducks grazing, and the other end he had horses. And he used duck manure to plant these trees at the one end of the paddock and horse manure at the other end. And the ones with the fresh horse manure, the trees nearly died, and with the duck manure they went berserk, and they were absolutely fantastic. So duck manure seems to be very good to put fresh onto a tree and get it growing. Yeah.
Is it much different to chicken manure, or?
Don't know, but anyway, the duck manure put those trees in orbit.
Wow. Okay,
and that's
Blaze.
my only direct experience. And then the horse manure nearly killed them.
Wow.
So we had this big paddock, and one end they were nearly dead, and the other end they were fantastic.
That's unreal. All right. Well, yeah, collect up as much of that duck's manure as you can and get it on the fruit trees.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, perfect. Sue says, thank you so much for the advice. That was about the cats digging in Western Australia,
Yep.
preventing them. All right, good. Jules asks, tips to recover gardenia hedge, lost leaves at bottom, just top half leaves left.
Okay.
I think it's dried out. Jules says.
Osmocote make a product called Osmocote liquid fertilizer for acid-loving plants. That's Osmocote liquid fertilizer for acid-loving plants, and I've seen it almost bring gardenias back from the dead. You look at them and you say that is finished, it's gone, it's had it, and I've seen regular application of that. Perhaps if things are desperate, go for a weekly application of Osmocote liquid fertilizer for acid-loving plants, and gardenias go berserk with it. So,
Wow.
so
Okay,
anybody
could bring it back from the dead. Yeah.
So whether your gardenia is sick or not, if your gardenia is pretty good, it'll be fantastic, and if it's nearly dead, it'll be good. So it basically
Fantastic.
can improve anybody's gardenias. It's like the best food around for gardenias. But you could use that on azaleas or lots of different plants, but it seems to be particularly good on gardenias. So Osmocote liquid fertilizer for acid-loving plants.
Fantastic. There you go, Jules.
And
Hopefully that
we don't
helps you
sell
out.
that one here because it's a bit of an obscure thing, but I've seen it in at Bunnings.
All right, there you go. Bit of a plug for the old bee and the old Osmocote again.
Yeah.
All right, next question comes to us from John, asking, best way to get acacia limelight fettuccine to grow quick and be less susceptible to overwatering.
Okay, so what I'd be doing is I'd be digging very big holes, mixing lots of good top quality potting mix through the ground, and then planting them up high in the hive so they've got lots of loose porous ground underneath. And I'd be applying a little bit of soil wetter when I plant them, and another plug for Osmocote, I'd be using a little bit of Osmocote as well.
Beautiful. All right, there you go, John. Hopefully that gets them less susceptible to overwatering. All right, and then one yellow jumpsuit asks, any good native climbing plants for a pergola, please?
Native climbing for a pergola. You would use there's some good native pandareas that are really quite aggressive growers. So I would go for one of your native pandareas, and that would cover it very, very quickly. And
What is it? Pandarea?
Pandarea, but
Oh, yeah.
we'd use there's exotic, like Lady Di would be a popular exotic one, but there's quite a few native pandareas which are really attractive evergreens, very, very strong growers with beautiful and interesting flowers. And that would be your native climber to cover your pergola.
Beautiful. All right, there you go. Only yellow jumpsuits. Hopefully that helps you out there over on Instagram. All right, jumping back over to TikTok, asking, Jules just says, fantastic, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Blaze says, thank you for your advice. And John says, cheers, guys. All right, now we've got a question here from Mia asking, what to do about palm trees that keep getting borer?
When I was a kid, my mum used to give me her cake. What do you call it? For injecting, what do you call it? Your injector thing is a
Secateurs? Spray bottle? What are you talking about?
for doing injections. What do you call it?
A syringe?
Yeah, she had a cake decorating syringe, which wasn't too dangerous, and she'd give us, and we had borers in the garden.
What is the borer actually? What is it?
A borer, a little bug that goes in and
Bores the hole.
and eats the timber and turns it into sawdust.
Oh wow, okay.
And anyway, so what would happen is that we'd go out and we'd put a bit of metho with using the cake decorating
You didn't use
syringe.
it later to make the cakes, did you?
And just with a bit of metho in it. She would wash it and use it for the cakes later. But it was a little non-sharp. And we'd just poke it in the hole and put a little blast of methylated spirits in there. And what would happen is that would kill the borers.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
a bit of metho,
okay.
just injected into
Jeez.
inject a little bit of metho into that hole.
All right, there you go, Mia.
Just a little squirt of metho and the borers would go.
Get a bit of metho from Bunnings, probably. Will you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and just a little, one of those little non-sharp cake decorating.
Yeah, I know the ones.
syringe,
You can
yeah.
use them for decorating your cake. That's correct. All right. Hopefully that works out for you, Mia, and you can get rid of those that problem in your palm trees. Jay asks, what's the best, easiest way to kill or remove agapanthus?
What I've found is that when you try and dig under them, it's really, really hard work. But what I've found is if you get a chainsaw and you cut the top off them and cut them off to, 3 or 4 inches in height, then get a crowbar with a nice sharp pointed crowbar. And what you do is you stab the crowbar in through the top.
Split it.
And then you put a bit of wood on it, so to give you leverage, a bit of wood on the ground, and then you get the crowbar and you tip it right over to one side and you leverage them out.
Right.
And you break up the clump into pieces by stabbing it and leveraging it.
Wow.
And I've found that it's quite, like where digging them out can seem quite impossible, off with a chainsaw, piece of wood and a nice sort of sharp chisel tooth steel crowbar, stab it in through it, put the wood down, leverage it to one side, and up comes the roots and the bulbs.
Wow, so once you get that out, they shouldn't grow back, is that right?
No, if you get the bulbs out, it doesn't matter about the roots so much, but if you can get all the bulbs out, and I've found that using a crowbar and a bit of wood, and
the right
coming from the middle and work out that I can do it quite quickly.
All right,
and easily.
Perfect. All right, there you go, Jay. Hopefully you can get rid of those agapanthus, the unwanted ones you have there. All right, so next question comes to us rounding back to Sue about the cat problem in Western Australia. Just asking with the lantana, purple lantana, what soil prep should she do to get it ready? She's got quite sandy soil in Bunbury, Western Australia.
If you dug it over and mixed a bit of compost through the soil and used a bit of Osmocote for fertiliser and be generous with the water, it'll go crazy.
Perfect. All right, sounds pretty easy, Sue. Just mixing in your existing sandy soil with some nice high quality potting mix. All right, Shell asks, what would be a good medium-sized native tree for shade, but also least invasive roots? So good native tree for shade with non-invasive roots.
I reckon a blueberry ash or a native frangipani would both be good small trees, quite different to each other. One has amazing pink blossom, almost like a flowering cherry, and the other one has a yellow, very subtly fragrant flower, and they're both good small evergreen trees without invasive roots.
All right, lovely. There you go, Shell. And we're going to be wrapping up the live very soon because Chris has appointments and bookings to get to, so we really appreciate all the questions. So if you want to get any last minute gardening questions in, we'll probably do a couple more. If you have one, please send us one right now to have it answered live on the show. Mia just commented, oh my God, that's so funny, great, thanks so much. That was about the borer, putting the cake syringe inside the holes with metho.
Yeah.
Jay says, thank you. Blaze says, I'm so sorry for many questions. That's okay, Blaze, actually. You can ask as many as you like.
Yeah,
first
cool.
in, first come,
Best
dressed questions we'll get through, as long as they're gardening related. So Blaze says, how do I get rid of a grapevine? Are they hard to get rid of, are they, grapevine?
Not really. You just, if you just dig out the stump, really, like the roots don't sucker or grow, so you've just really got to dig out the stump and chuck it away.
All right, that's it, Blaze. So yeah, just got to get down and hopefully it's not too hard a task for you and rip out the stump and you should be good to go.
Yeah, just cut the roots and dig out the stump and as long as the stump's out, it won't shoot. If you leave all the roots in the ground, it doesn't matter, it won't grow.
Okay, great. Shell says, thank you very much. 365 Party Girl says, hello, my maidenhair has died. I've cut it down and have been watering daily. What else to do?
I think
probably chuck it in the bin.
if it's brown and got no green to it.
Yeah, it might be not worth trying to hang on to.
It's a funny thing. The last ditch effort, and this sounds weird, but they often, if they burn, like after a bushfire, they'll bush back really, really nicely in the bush. The last thing is that you're not going to kill it. If it's already completely dead, you're not going to kill it anymore. So I'd set fire to it. and just give it a last shot at regeneration, and then put it out under the veranda, keep it moist, and give it a couple of give it 6 or 8 weeks and see if it shoots back.
What did you say? Set fire to it?
Yeah, like when
is that they're designed for that or something?
yeah,
like
they're
the gum
designed
tree?
to fire goes through the bush and burns everything, and the maiden hair fern shoots back again.
That's so interesting.
And so, but the thing is, say it's completely dead, it's not going to come back. But
Yeah.
if it's sort of half dead, it might just be all you need. Is
give it some vigor
Yeah.
to come
Yeah.
back again.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. Just obviously be safe with the fire.
Yeah.
They do. All right, so just
screw up a bit of newspaper and set fire to it.
okay.
And there's a remote chance it'll come back.
Okay, there's a
And
remote
then
chance.
keep it moist, yeah.
Yeah, she says I did think of burning it. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give it a shot. Do it in a safe, obviously safe surrounding. Don't set anything else on fire, of course. All right, so Sue does say, awesome once again, thank you so much. I think we'll just have one more question here. All right, so Kristen asks, will Lamandra transfer okay?
Transplant.
Transplant, sorry.
Yeah, Lamandra, again, reduce the amount of foliage. If you're digging it up and you might even be splitting up, it grows in clumps, and you can dig it up, you can split the clumps, but reduce because you're chopping the roots off and you're putting stress on it, you have to reduce and reduce it back hard. Reduce the foliage by the amount of foliage on your Lamandra by 70-80%. It'll grow back in spring, so it's a good plant to dig up, transplant, and even split into different pieces. But do reduce the foliage, and
she also just added all natives practically.
right.
So is that a different story? Because then we're talking about similar for transplanting.
No. For Lamandras are all native, so that's
okay.
fine. Yeah. So dig them up, split them, and reduce the foliage by 80%. And you should be fine.
All right, there you go, Kirsten. I'm guessing that's how I say your name there. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. 365 Party Girl says she'll be careful. Haha, thanks guys.
No worries.
About burning the maiden hair. Kimmy here says supporting from Brisbane, Australia.
Oh, right, cool, thanks.
Thanks, Kimmy. All right, and thank you so much to everyone who sent Chris or left a question for Chris down below. We're just about to wrap up right now. Many people trying to get onto Chris as in the background here, but that's what happens when you do things live. You know, we never know what's going to happen. Now, if you do want to book Chris for a one-on-one free garden design consultation, you can do that in the shop. Simply go to our website, hellohelloplants.com.au.
Yeah, and also people, if you want to find out about our Grower Direct flash sale, visit our Bargain Bonanza Grower Direct flash sale.
Happening right now.
It's up on YouTube and it's on the website.
Yeah, it's happening right now. The sale is really good. So if you want to get some plants on the cheap, do your garden up or get any additional plants, now's the time to do it.
People have really responded. I think on Sunday we had our busiest July day ever online. So, and that was because of the Grower Direct flash sale.
Lovely. All right, we're going to wrap it up. We'll be back with another live question and answers next Monday at 12 p.m. Feel free to join us then. If you have any more gardening questions, get free advice from Chris. Until then, we'll see you if you join us this Friday, we'll have another flash sale, so you can join us on all of these social media channels this Friday at 12 p.m. with another Growers Direct flash sale.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks very much.